The first thing I want to say is that my bro Bruce is doing a live play with some really cool people right now. He does live plays on Saturdays that, you know, people can watch. And if that's what you want to do, I would say, go have a peek, or as my Canadian friend used to say, have a boo at what he's got going on. Give him a thumbs up, say hi. I mean, you don't got to stay there forever, but go check Bruce out. A lot of you will like him. Some of you will not. And those of you who don't, you probably just have bad taste in friends. So, sorry. Not trying to be mean to you or anything, but it's not my intention to insult people just willy-nilly, but that's just my experience. So, as you can see by the title, Viva Venezuela. I'll tell you what, the first thing I did when I heard about was not call. I sent a text to the Venezuelan guy I hang out with, and he is so freaking happy. All he said is he's hoping for a reasonably smooth transition. And I agree. I agree with the guy. I mean, he retired from the oil companies in Venezuela, and basically when Chavez took over, he got screwed hard, and he ended up having to flee the country to come here. And he's got a job. He's a good guy. What's up, Crafting Gamer, TCG? Yo. Hey, how you doing, Timmy?
Good.
So this guy, he's like, I don't want to say he's one of the good immigrants, but I will say this. I mean, he came over here. He didn't cause any problems. He got a job. We hang out. He's a good guy. He's happy that Maduro is gone. And if the transition goes smooth, he wants to go home to Venezuela because he loves Venezuela. He is a patriot to Venezuela, but he never liked Chavez or Maduro. So
I hope that it goes well.
Me too. Now, a lot of leftists are whining about, you attack without Congress, blah, blah, blah. And to that, I would say, really, guys?
It happens all the time.
Attack without
Congress. So what? Sorry, hang on. I haven't been watching the news. What's going on?
America took out Maduro.
They took him out, like assassinated him?
No, he's captured. He's arrested.
But just to be shitheads, we did bomb Chavez's tomb. Where his body's in there. Blow the shit up out of that. And now people, if you look online, people in Venezuela are in the streets cheering and
celebrating.
So happy. But leftists in America, leftist Karens are all like, oh my God, we shouldn't have, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, where was this like viewpoint when Big Daddy Obama was drone striking half of the fucking world? You know what I mean? And causing wars.
You know the answer. You don't have to ask the fucking question. Literally, guys have made videos where they've read to fucking leftist students and Karens Trump's fucking economic plan, but said this was Obama's. What do you think of it? And they're like, oh yeah, it's really great and it's really good. But actually, that's fucking what Trump just did. This is Trump's plan. And they're like, oh. They don't think. They just react, man. They're all fucking morons. Come on.
They don't care how good the idea is. It just matters where it comes from.
Exactly.
Well, okay then. I'll give you guys that. It's like, stop being hypocrites, because like I said, the first thing I did is send a text to the Venezuelan guy I hang out with. He drives me around for my medical stuff, and he's ecstatic.
Good,
He's
man.
an older man. He retired from some oil company after 30 years before what's his name had a chance to nationalize it and had to flee.
Hold on.
So the second, I guarantee you there's probably going to be, and I've met a lot of Venezuelans. Of course, none of them covered in tats and shit, just normal working Venezuelans. And they're not bad people. I like them. Everyone I've met.
I know a lot of Venezuelans, like a lot of them, and most of them I'm really happy for because they're going to really like this. They're going to be really, they're going to have that mentality of I get to go home, etc. But I know a few Chavistas and Chavistos, and they're fucking morons. And I figured, and it took me the longest time to figure out why they were Chavistos and Chavistas. I was like, why are they supporting this nonsense? And then just through casual conversation, I found out all of their families worked for the government in some way or another. So they were well taken care of, right?
I've seen this
in communist countries, man. If you're part of the government, you're good until you F up and they execute you.
Yeah.
I've seen this Cuban this morning celebrate about Venezuela. He's like, yes, Viva Venezuela.
Do Cuba next.
Do Cuba
Right?
next.
Like,
Yes.
Cuba next, please.
Oh, I still say one of the biggest mistakes your country ever made was not taking over Cuba and making it a state.
Yeah.
I still agree with that. But you know who I blame? The freaking bloody French, who at the meeting in Paris, convinced the Spanish to give us the Philippines and Puerto Rico and Spanish Guam and all this shit, but let Cuba be.
Yeah, big mistake.
We just said, no, F you guys. Cuba is beautiful. We're keeping it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cuba is
build
beautiful.
Disney
It's
World
closer
right
to
on
us.
the
We want
mountainside.
that.
Get ready for it.
This
And
place is
And
in
any
our
chance we
backyard.
have to blame the French, I'm down with it.
Well,
you can blame them for having a country, so that's good too, right?
Oh, do they
Yep.
really have a country
man,
anymore?
they did help. And you know what they did? The guy who helped us, they beheaded him. So fuck.
Lafayette.
Yeah, they beheaded Lafayette
Yeah.
during the Reign of Terror. So you know what?
Yeah, but they also beheaded Robespierre.
Well, that's the problem when you get addicted to beheading.
Well, that's the problem when you get addicted to revolutionary uprising of the citizenry. They lose sight after a while because they tend to be, what's the word lacking vision.
And
Stupid.
intelligent.
There's a lot of reactionary stuff.
Well, I'm trying to be nice, okay? Jesus Christ.
I mean, you are right, though. You're not wrong. I'm not sitting here saying, damn, Barry, you're so wrong. No, you're right. That is the problem with that kind of revolution is revolutions just keep revoluting.
Yes.
Revolving. That's the word, revolving.
Yes, it's that line. It's that whole speech that what's his name had in Under Siege. Do you mind?
That's where I got that from. It's amazing how much I've learned from watching like action movies.
Could you fucking lay down? Thank you. Yeah, no, the whole idea that the movement only goes so far and then it stops moving, where the revolution keeps coming back around. The problem is every time it does the tour of the wheel, it comes back a little bit changed because some of the people that were over here in charge are gone now, and guys like Stalin are starting to be in charge all of a sudden. And that's the problem with revolution. Revolution is a bad idea. Despite America's glorification and fetishization of how great revolution was for you guys with the War of Independence and all that idea, which is fine, revolution is absolutely a horrible idea. What you want are movements. You want things that start steering countries or nations or peoples in ways that they can then adapt and adjust to the new changes without getting to the, hey, remember those assholes who were in charge of the revolution? Yeah, we just killed those fuckers. What? Why? Well, they wanted to stop fighting. What?
The difference is we're Americans and they were French. And at that time, we weren't even really Americans yet. We were still British.
Yeah. The thing is, the revolution.
So when we won our revolution, we stopped. We shook hands with the other side. We said, okay, let's get back to building.
But that's clearly because you guys had an end goal, which was the liberation of the 13 colonies, right? You had a goal in mind for your revolution. Most revolutions that happen don't have those kinds of goals. They just have the let's destroy the government and take power in mind. That's all they think, right? Like the Bolsheviks.
I think it didn't even start out like that either. We didn't really want to break free at first. It was more like, hey, look, we want to change some things. Can we have some representation? And
Well,
then
I
they're
love
like,
that you are
"No."
participating in a conversation finally, Timmy, because normally you just sit here and don't say anything, and it makes me very happy to pursue. I have bad news for you. We know in this country, we learn about your country extensively.
We did complain a lot about things, but I think it was only a matter of time.
I don't know. It was inevitable. The revolution was inevitable. The
Right.
fact that you guys tried to suck Canada into it was like lacking vision, because there was no fucking way you were going to get Canada, which was far more occupied. The Upper and Lower
We
Canada
didn't
was
know how
far more
loyal you
occupied.
would be.
Huh?
We didn't know how loyalist you dudes would be. We thought
We
you'd
didn't
be
have a
like us.
choice. We didn't have a choice, James. We had more per capita British troops in our fucking towns and cities and what have you than you guys had. They were everywhere here. You know what I mean? It was insane. We were like, well, I guess we'll just, they're fighting down south, are they? Oh, maybe some of these guys will go there and let our food alone. That'd be nice.
I want to say this. I credit the American Revolution going the way it did because both sides were more or less British, and both sides more or less were very godly, went to churches. So, it was like once the general of the British, what was his name? Cornwallis?
Yeah, something like that.
Once he surrendered, we weren't like, okay, round up all the British loyalists and everybody and kill them all. We were like, okay, cool. Love you guys. Have fun on your sail back across the ocean. But now we're going
march up north, enjoy Toronto.
Yeah, enjoy Toronto.
The early rhetoric you see in the propaganda leading up to the revolution was basically around we're not being treated like Englishmen.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was the entire
back
argument.
then expected a certain level of deference and whatever. That might sound racist, but we're not South Sudan. You don't treat us like South Sudan. We're British, goddammit. Back then, anyway. Now we're everything.
Are you going to buy me that game for my birthday?
Yes.
It's on sale.
No.
There's
a Benjamin Franklin quote when he went to plead the colony's case and spoke before Parliament and basically got a massive tongue lashing. He said later, I walked into that room an Englishman and walked out an American.
Well, he walked to France and walked in as an old pudgy bastard.
He walked into France as a dirty whoremonger.
And he walked out as a bastard with probably syphilis and every other STD that existed back then. I mean, God love Ben Franklin. He was, in his own way, a really great guy. He invented shit and didn't even copyright it and was like...
He was one of the great scientists of his age. He doesn't get credit for that because...
But he also had a weird kind of thing with like one of his nieces, and he really enjoyed the drink and the whores in France. I mean...
He wrote a paper about when you pick your mistress, as all good Englishmen should, make sure she is older, because they're very appreciative and they don't get pregnant.
All I'm saying, he's a complicated gentleman. He's a complicated gentleman.
And no
he's
one
the only one smiling.
But his whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Yeah, he's the only one smiling on his money portrait because he wasn't fool enough to be president.
And he's on the big one too. He's on that $100 bill, y'all.
There actually was a $100,000 bill at one point. Woodrow Wilson was on it.
They created one.
Yeah, it was for before electronic stuff for big bank transfers.
But, well, I'm going to say what my bro Vince said, and that is, I hope they have a very smooth transition. People in Venezuela seem to be super happy about it, and all of the Hugo Chavez fans can suck it. If they can find his body, because like I said, we did drop a bomb right on his tomb.
I heard they arrested him and his wife. I heard they're in custody.
Oh, Maduro and his wife. Yes. But remember Hugo Chavez started the whole thing?
Apparently he's been dead for some time,
just
hasn't
to
he?
be fun, we dropped a bomb on his tomb.
Doc, your mic's really hot.
Oh, sorry.
Well, they said that America didn't have the balls to come down to Venezuela and start shit. So we're like, hold my beer.
Yeah, I mean, don't say that to Trump. Trump literally dropped the F-bomb. during one of his recent, where he has his little meetings with all of the secretaries, and somebody asked him something, all of the freaking journalists or whatever, and he's like, well, they keep fucking around. I was like,
we're gonna kill the drug dealers. If they fuck around, we're gonna kill them.
Powers that be gave America, I don't have an identity crisis. As a matter of fact, I've never felt more American. This is
America.
the Marshall Plan. This is what Teddy Roosevelt did. This is what we're supposed to do. Also, a side effect, since Venezuela was really getting close with China, is we let China know they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah. No, and look, ultimately, if China, Russia, the BRIC nations are smart on this one, and I'm hoping they are, they're going to just go, we really, really, really are disappointed in America, and we condemn your actions, and yes, indeed, we're very disappointed in you, 100% yes, and leave it at that.
Yeah, that's
with China, though. China kind of lately has been getting like, we have big balls, and we want to show the world our big balls. And the problem is every tech analysis you watch of Chinese military tech, specifically naval tech, versus American naval tech is like, do not pick this fight, China. Like, you will not. Like, it's like a 48 to 72 hour debate on how long it'll take for America to control the entire South China Sea. Like, it's insane.
I don't think China has been regularly getting its ass handed to them by the Indians.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. So
every time they throw down, the Indians just bitch.
To be
slap
fair,
them.
though, some of those Hindi soldiers are freaking tough bastards.
Them and the Pakistanis are the most experienced fighters on earth right now.
I mean,
They've
they
been going at it
fought 7
nonstop.
wars in the last 10 years or some shit.
Yeah, they basically have like 3 or 4 generations of nonstop on
Dude,
and off
one of the
warfare.
toughest men in all of history was a Hindu soldier. I forget his name, but he won a medal that you can only win by doing magic and like breaking the rules of reality. Like, he climbed up a big ass cliff, got shot a bunch of times, including in the balls. And then when he got to the top of the cliff, he took out 3 Pakistani machine gun nests with a shovel. And he was just, I don't know, he's in the zone, man. And at the end of it, they gave him like the Holy Order of Vishnu, something, something. He's like one of 2 people in the world to ever get this medal, because you shouldn't be able to get it and live. You know what I mean? It's like it's like crazy when you read what you got to do. But yeah,
do you guys remember from like
while you're being shot at by machine guns?
Like 2 years ago, it was the first time it was ever caught. It was from satellite photographs. Like it's a Medal of Honor recipient actually, like in the act. That guy who like got shot like 30 times and like just kept going. It was in Afghanistan. Just kept going from like pillbox to pillbox,
guys.
killing everyone.
Dinner's ready.
Catch you later, Timmy.
Timmy.
Later, man.
Well, I mean, so here's a theory. We'll get a U.S.-friendly Venezuelan government. They'll go back to like pumping.
Hey, maybe a lot of the Venezuelans in your country will go fucking home now.
I worry that my bro Vince will.
Well, yeah, but
then I'll have to get used to another driver. But he told me point blank that he would if he could.
Well, there you go. But I think it's good for them to be able to go home and hopefully rebuild their country into something like it used to be.
Especially if they call the right number, they'll get $1,000 check on the way out.
Yeah. And you've got Iran. Iran's about to have a Persian fucking uprising of epic proportions.
Dude.
I think
I didn't think I would ever see the Shah on YouTube giving speeches again, but there he was.
Do they have a new Shah?
Well,
no,
the Crown Prince. The Prince is basically supporting the revolution, obviously, or the uprising, the protests. But the thing is, I know Persians here who left only because, and these are their words, we're not fucking Arabs, right?
Yeah,
and like they hate that the Muslim rule of Iran is Arabic focused. Yeah. So if that
they were very Western and cosmopolitan prior to the revolution.
Them in Turkey were super, super, super Western. Then Iran fell, and now Turkey's been becoming more and more Muslim as time goes on. I'm sorry to say it. Look, I'm going to say it directly. I'm going to say it bluntly, and I don't give a fuck who thinks I'm being hateful. Islam is not compatible with civilization. It is compatible with Islam and only Islam.
Right.
It does not work well when it meets things like, I don't know,
Right.
freedom and women's rights. And what's that term we use for multi-religious societies? I always forget it.
Secular.
Secular.
And what's
Boy, they have a real problem with secularism, don't they?
The guy who founded the New Turkey, Ataturk, he founded it as a secular nation. And for a little while, I guess it was, but that's over. But
yeah, it's mainly, I can't remember, the dude who's in now is a crazy man.
Khomeini, he's the second.
No, I mean in Turkey. Yeah, the new
Oh,
president.
that new guy.
He's
very Muslim. Very Muslim.
Yeah, on the DL, he's like an extremist.
Yeah.
He tries to pretend like he's not, but he is.
All right, guys, I'm going to eat dinner.
Goodbye.
Later, Hungar.
My pizza just showed up.
Hey, Hungar, guess what I put the final touches on today, and I'm handed it out to a couple people to read?
Your book?
The Bestiary for Final Age.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. I've seen some of the art. It was pretty freaking.
Yeah, the art's amazing.
170 monsters for you, buddy.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the Russians.
I'm about halfway through with the book you sent me.
Uh-huh.
And waiting to find something to write up for you, but I'm going to keep looking.
Okay. Let me know
Yeah,
how that
Russia
works out.
or Abandoned Russia recently put out a song called Mama Russia, which is just Russia, Mama Russia. And one of the verses, they talk about like, fuck the Turks, basically. You know what I mean? Like in the song, they're just like, and of course, it's a very patriotic song from their point of view. And like they're saying, NATO, why would you even mess with us? We can't be defeated and all this and that, and it's a bunch of like teenage girls, singing, Mama Russia. And then like one of them's posing with a big broadsword and one of them's posing with one of those, those machine guns the Russians loved in World War II that have that like plate on the top.
The rotor, yeah.
Like the DSK-7 or whatever the hell it was. So I showed it to my wife, and my wife is like, good for them. Countries should be patriotic. I was like, yeah, I guess, yeah. So, but yeah, they were like, UK.
Yeah. It's interesting how no country that borders Turkey can stand Turkey.
My German neighbor, not my neighbor now, but she was, and she come over and somehow got to Turks, and let me tell you, German people are not fans of the Turks that live in Germany. They are not fans. They're like, they anyway, I'm going to drop it at that. They're just not fans. Let's just say that. They don't care for them that much. So Doc, yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, Greece is just right across that little bit of the ocean, and the Greeks.
The Greeks particularly don't like the Turks when they've got
the Serbs hate them. The Croats hate them. Like everyone in the Balkans except maybe Albania hates the hell out of the Turks. And of course, Serbs call Albanians Turks.
You know what really disappoints me? The one group in the Middle East that has always been square with us are the Kurds, and they get
and
nothing
we always
but
have them
fucked.
over.
They get nothing but fucked for it.
Yep. And the reason is the country we're talking about right now. If we were to make the Kurds have their own homeland, it would require us to take a good chunk of eastern Turkey.
Yep.
As well as part of Iran, Syria, just chunks of these countries. And because Turkey's in NATO, we've just never had the balls to do it.
Yeah, and that's a freaking abomination that they're even included in NATO. I think it's an abomination that we're in NATO. But
it's weird. I always bring this up about NATO. You've got NATO. Greece is in NATO. Turkey's in NATO. They hate each other so bad. They're always pointing new. I mean, it's like they're one of the countries most likely to go to war. And then what do you do when two NATO countries just start duking it out with each other?
Boys.
Like, yeah, well, let the Greeks cook, baby. I mean, honestly, why there wasn't a big war when the Turks took half of Cyprus, I'll never know. That should have, because that was Greek. They were not in NATO at the time. But still, it should have been like everyone's just Christian duty to land there and wipe those Turks out. I mean, Cyprus has been a Christian country since like Christianity. So, yeah. That's the Turks' threat. They will say that they've done it. They'll take all these like people from Sudan and Congo and all these places that are really shitty, let them into Turkey for no big deal, and then ship them across into Greece. And then get mad when the Greeks turn the boats back and it turns into a whole freaking thing, you know. They're using immigration as a weapon against the rest of the EU. Okay, poor orc child, we got lucky and some help came from the French. Are we talking about the Revolutionary War? Because if we are, you're right. Lafayette, without Lafayette, we probably would have
lost.
You know. But Lafayette actually gave some boys some training and stiffened the spine up a little bit. And we went from being a bunch of hillbillies and city guys to an actual army.
There's a guy, I'm blanking on his name. He was a Prussian dude who came over and passed himself off as this lord with like extensive military. He was like a mercenary NCO, but he passed himself off as this like nobleman to like get it, like, I will train your army for you. And he whipped them heavily into shape, and then it turned out later he was nobody. But by then they're like, okay, he's awesome. We're just going to ignore this.
Well, if he's a Prussian mercenary, chances are he's seen some shit.
Yeah. He knew his shit. He absolutely knew his shit. But for the credentials, he had to like pretend that he was like somebody important.
Hey, sometimes you might have to tell a fib or two on that resume to get your foot in the door.
It's fucking ballsy, though.
I mean, there was a time when Prussia was literally an army that had a country kind of built around it. Because every single part of Prussia was devoted to militarism. Making weapons, making powder, training soldiers. It's like they had no civilian culture in that whole country for like 100 years. It was just like, we're invading everybody all the time. But whatever. I know there was that war they got into with the poor Danes. It did not go well for the Danes at all. Because, you know. I mean, but Napoleon put a whipping on their asses. He let them know.
He smacked everybody around for a good long while.
Yeah. Until he got mad at the Russians for selling hemp to Britain. And decided he'd go punish the Russians personally with his army. Didn't work out.
People keep making that mistake.
It's ashes. What's ashes? I don't know. I don't understand what's going on. Poor orc child is having a stroke.
Cal, don't stroke out.
But yeah. And I think I've told you this before, right? How Russia was trying to isolate Britain and not let anybody sell hemp to Britain so that the British Navy, after a couple of years, would be the suck. Because you got to change all the rigging on those tall ships every couple of years, right? And every country on the continent was like, we won't sell England any hemp. Freaking, what's his name? Peter the Great was like, have some hemp, baby.
So
smoke up, Johnny.
Do you guys know what Stanley Park is in Vancouver?
I've heard the name,
I
but
don't know where Vancouver is.
Okay, so Stanley Park is this massive Douglas fir forest that basically it sits at the end of the Vancouver Peninsula, right? So when you're in Vancouver, there's this peninsula, which is the downtown, and at the very end of it, where the bridge to North Van goes through, is Stanley Park. Beautiful fucking place. Insanely beautiful. Massive trees. And then right off it on a little island is the naval base, right? What people don't understand is that Lord Stanley, and why it's named for Lord Stanley, is because when they got there, he went, all right, all of these trees here are reserved for the British Navy for mass production. And they were like, all right, that's the rule. It's for mass production. Okay, cool. By the time they would have ever needed to harvest those trees, they had moved on to steamships. You know what I mean? So there was just these massive trees there. And they went, well, fuck it. It's a park now. We're going to preserve them anyway and keep them there forever. And it's I'm telling you, like, there's a lot of things to hate about Vancouver, but Stanley Park is not one of them. Stanley Park is beautiful. And
I mean, we as Americans learned our lesson when we tried to build a frigate out of pine wood. It was not good. We got into it with the British, and more men on that ship died due to the pine fragments blowing all over and killing people than from actual British fire.
We used to have on the East Coast, we used to have a thing called the St. Lawrence pine, which was a pine tree that grew as big as like a Douglas fir. It was this massive tree. Ça n'existe non plus. There are no more because the colonists cut them all down to use them to build cabins and burn wood and build fucking walls and everything else, right? They just like locusts. The French went through them and they're gone forever. So whenever I hear them talking about, we're going to bring back this thing, we're going to bring back that thing.
Like, you think you can bring these trees back?
Yeah, I bet you guys find a way to bring those fucking trees back.
Yeah. We must be careful not to overhunt them, like we did with the beaver. The beaver, what were we thinking?
I'll tell you what, the beaver is back. He's doing good. Don't worry about the fucking beaver. He's all right. I mean, we got them in Kentucky. I didn't even know they were beavers in Kentucky. They are now.
And the Canada goose, the fucking cobra chicken, those fuckers were endangered at one point and they weren't allowed to hunt them. Now they're everywhere. Can we fucking hunt them again?
That is a terrifying name, cobra chicken.
That's the nickname for them.
Dude, there's a miniature you could buy, and it's like the size of a hydra, but it's a goose. But the goose has like 8 heads on the end of their long goose necks. And like it's attacking. Can you even imagine throwing that shit on the table? Your players are like, you know, you're like, you hear like this loud honking noise, and they're like, what the fuck is that? And all of a sudden you're like, boom, goose hydra. You know? Peace was never an option, as they say. Yeah, I know there was, and I know Bear may not enjoy this, but I got to do it. On an episode of Letterkenny, they were freaking out because like some Canadians were like killing goose eggs by spraying them with some kind of oil or something to make them not hatch. And like not Shorzy, but whoever Shorzy, but the other Shorzy, you know, the alter ego Shorzy, was like super upset. They were like breaking glass bottles on the golf cart course because it was the golf course that wanted to kill all the geese. And of course, you're talking about a guy that literally cries every time he hears the Canadian national anthem. So, I mean, he was like, those are our geese, you know, like, okay.
I've literally
I respect it.
Buddy, that was rude.
I mean, we've got our national bird, which is mostly a carrion eater. We like to pretend like it's a big noble thing, but you go to a dump here in America. In Florida, if you go to a big dump, there'll be more bald eagles than you can count.
I love how whenever they do the like rah of the bald eagle, it's always like a crow or something because the bald eagle has this like pathetical little mouse chirp.
Yes, they use the scream of a red-tailed hawk. Because when eagles do their thing, they like peep, like peep, 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 you know, and it's like, that's not very impressive. It's ashes. Oh, I get what you're saying, Kyle. Okay. And yes, they will go home. I have distant cousins in Venezuela. Well, I know the guy that I talk to all the time. I've been talking to him for a year, right? He loves Venezuela. He's always talking about when they used to run around and go up in the mountains and, you know, and he worked for English or American oil concern. and they trained him, and he had a great job making a lot of money. And he was lucky he retired before everything got federalized or nationalized, and over here now driving a cab, and he was always talking about, he's the one I said he was worried he'd get deported. And I'm like, there's no way they're going to deport a hardworking Venezuelan like you, because you're an actual refugee. You could be murdered if they sent you home. You know what I mean? And plus you got a freaking work visa and everything. So you're good, bro. Just don't break any laws or get any gang tax. You'll be fine. And he's an older man. He's like 70, you know, like, so yeah, he wants to go home. He wants to see his family and stuff.
Another thing the open borders people never like acknowledge is that we're not doing any favors to these countries by exporting all the motivated people that might actually change things there.
Well, so one of the things that you got to keep in mind, right, is that the lefty idiocy is pretty fucking deep, right? And when I was even in the 90s, when I was in school, we had this one news chick. It's always fucking women or fucking fags. I don't know why, but anyway, there was this one woman who worked for the CBC, but now she was going to teach media studies to college kids, and she was just going on about how great it was, the global village, and how during the Iraq war, the first one, we saw footage like we never saw before. We were right there. And I'm like, one, the global village doesn't work because while you might have Canada and the UK and Denmark at the head of the class, you know, and then the middle of the class, you might have, you know, I don't know, Korea and whoever. At the back of the class, you've got fucking Uzbekistan and, you know, fucking, you know, sub-Saharan Africa and all these other places where human rights are not fucking cool. And then you got America sitting over there with his feet up on the desk, looking great. He's the fucking got the Letterman jacket on. Everybody fucking wants to be his friend. He's going to be valedictorian. We all know it. So until we can get those fucking guys at the back of the class, at least to where Korea's sitting, we can't have a global village because it's just too opposed to each other in thought process.
No, because they'll break into your car and drink all your battery.
They'll drink all your battery acid, those fucking Uzbek pricks. But the point is, so I said that, and she didn't like that. And then she started going on about the access in the war, and I said, you saw exactly what the American War Department wanted you to see. You didn't get to go anywhere they didn't let you go, and you had escorts, and you were taken to the places where they wanted. So don't act like you had this unfettered access to the fucking war. You didn't.
Yeah, in World War II, you only saw exactly what was okayed for you to see.
World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf War. Yeah.
So I can tell you the Gulf War was mostly just driving around in circles.
Yeah, they let the press do what they wanted in Vietnam.
Yeah, he does sound a lot better today.
I'm telling you, it was something I ate because literally I just kind of passed it all out by late last night. So I woke up yesterday. I had muscle aches, fucking vicious headache, and the shits. Right, and that's what I was dealing with all day long. By the end of the night, I just had the headache. You know what I mean? Like everything else was gone. Well, so that was nice.
You know what you do is, if you eat something bad and it gives you the screaming memes, just go ahead and, if you can, force yourself to eat some other stuff and push it out. You know, get rid of whatever's in there causing you some issues, right? Some soup and crackers. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know where it was, but Germany, huh? Yeah, they were having a pro-Palestine march or something, and a bunch of these liberal white women went out there to march with them. They ended up getting stoned. It's like, you dumbasses.
Did you see that stupid bitch, the influencer, who went out on the streets on New Year's Eve in Cologne to prove that Germany was safe right now? And she's wearing her pink parka, and she's all like, whatever. And the fucking immigrants are literally threw rocks at her.
That might be the one.
She gets hit in the head twice. Like, you know, and then she still had the fucking gall afterwards to say that the right-wing racists are using this to push. They threw rocks at your head, bitch. How fucking stupid do you have to be to double down on your horse shit? God, humans.
See, Bear, let's discuss this for 1 second.
Sure.
Wouldn't you consider like a Islamic theocracy to be like super far right?
Yes.
Like, I mean, just based on what I've read about Sharia and all, it seems like not only conservative, but hey, let's conserve way back to like the 11th century conservative. You know what I mean? At least with Christian fundamentalist theocracies, we still like technology, and we're not going to beat the women to death for showing their faces. You know what I mean? I mean, these guys literally want to take it back to like the 9th century, 10th century, whatever. And it's like, and they are not left. And I found this out watching, I think his name is something Dow. He was talking about how Muslims always vote for the Democrat in national elections, but always vote for the conservative Republican in local elections. And also always try to elect their own people in. And Dearborn saw that when like
They lost their gay pride parade. That was fucking
and the Muslims
hilarious.
were like, nope, get the F out here. We're not doing it.
But
I
yeah,
thought
well,
we were allies. Nope.
Like that fucking where they had that Muslim march and some fucking lefty on the sides. The guy's like, get out of here, white man. He's like, but we're allies. No, we're not.
Yeah, it's like what I don't understand about that whole issue, though, is the Muslim. Now, I don't know what kind of Muslim indeed we're talking about, but he says, get out of here, white man. And it's like, but most of them are white.
Nah, they don't care.
It's
You
really
need to understand the Muslim uprising is not the white Muslims or the Asian Muslims. It's the Arabs. It's just an Arab uprising.
Right, because like the Uzbeks, the Turkmenistanians, the Dagestanians,
I don't want to talk about these Uzbeki bastards.
Right? You will lose, comrade.
You lose, comrade.
Everybody loves Georgie.
Hey,
And that's kind of the thing. It's like, while some of those people from those stand countries do get involved in bad stuff, I mean, they're as white as I am. You know, redheaded, green-eyed. You look at Afghanistan, they have one of the highest, like, concentrations of green-eyed people in the world. You know what I mean?
Oh my God! Do you remember that girl who was on the cover of National Geographic? That beautiful young girl from what it was. This was like in the late
Afghani,
really,
Afghani
with those eyes. They found her and they cut her fucking nose off.
Yep.
For that. Decades later, they made a point of hunting her down for allowing her picture to be taken of her face.
Yeah, the gay people for Palestine, that is just like, that's like cattle for hamburgers. You know what I mean? I mean, now if they go to Somalia, they'll be okay because there are no buildings taller than 1 story in Somalia. So they'll just get stoned. But if they actually go to Gaza, they got some pretty tall buildings there that they can chuck people off of. So, you know. But it's so funny that they just
Well, they think they'll fall in line once they're in charge. Because this is the thing about leftists. They're the actual racists. They honestly think all these people are inferior and need them to guide them.
I just think
it's backhanded, it's paternalistic, but they honestly, it's like the same attitude they have toward black people in this country. They think they're stupid. That's when the whole thing with the voter ID came out. Oh, they can't get ID. They don't know how to do that. But really?
Every black dude I know has got a driver's license and goes down and registers.
I mean, you seen that guy who goes and talks? So he's on the campus talking to all these lefty kids about voter ID, and they're all like, it's really racist. No. Then he goes down to Harlem and he just starts talking to random black people. And he's like, so do you have any ID? Yeah, I got like 8 pieces of ID. What the fuck, man? And he's like, do you know where the DMV is? Yeah, that's over on 12th Street. You know, like he's like, the leftists think you guys, what the fuck kind of racist bullshit is that? Like, yeah, exactly. No, they suck. And I'm sorry, I'm still becoming center right more as I get older, but I'm still like, they need to calm the fuck down is what they need to fucking do and go back to being the laughing stock they've always been, which means we need the media. And, okay, so apparently I've been told my entire life Jews run the media, right? Well, if they do, maybe now would be a good time to stop putting all those lefty fucking pro-Palestine, globalize the infantile talking points on TV. Oh, wait, Jews don't run the fucking
You would
media.
think.
You
You
fucking
would think now would be a
idiots.
great time to kind of calm that down.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's like even back then, Jews don't run the media. Stop your nonsense. You know.
Well, Jews running the media, man, that goes way back. That goes back to like the last century. You know, like the Russians said it, the Germans, like everyone.
God.
That's one of the
Yeah.
first things they say.
They say that through their national press organs that are somehow allowed to talk shit about Jews, despite the fact that the Jews run everything. What are you talking about? That I don't understand how this happens.
Well, that's why in Russia they had to have their own Pravda, and in Germany they had Der Spiegel, and those were owned by the parties in question.
Oh, you mean so they lie? Hang on, wait. So they lie, and then once they've told their lies, they go ahead and just fucking publish their own bullshit and pretend it's freedom. Oh, I never followed that totalitarianist. Geez, what was I thinking?
Yeah,
I thought Pravda was an honest name.
Propaganda is a thing, unfortunately.
So it would seem.
And it works really well. And apparently, the more you tell the same lie, the more people believe it.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It was so funny because they were bitching last night about somebody saying that, like, the left is in full-blown meltdown mode over that guy that went around looking at daycares. And they're trying to, like, really wreck his reputation and stuff. And then they were saying Tim Walz is not trying to make this a racist thing. And then they clip over to Tim Walz giving a speech saying the real problem in America is white supremacy. It's like, what? It's like, I don't even understand that. I've not, somebody told me once, though, if I've never met a white supremacist, maybe it's because I'm the one. So that's got me paranoid. You know what I mean?
There's a quote by Goebbels. It was something, I'm paraphrasing it, but it was something to the effect of tell a small lie and people doubt you. Tell them a huge lie and they doubt their sanity.
Right. Well, the thing I was saying is the guy was basically saying, if I said there were no white supremacists, I was the white supremacist. And I was just like, funny how that works.
Yeah. You know? And I am not endorsing Goebbels, by the way. I'm merely pointing out that he was a professional at what he did.
Yeah. Did you know, this is a true story, that little mustachio man, right? He actually hired a
not the Charlie Chaplin
magician to teach him like the hand signals and stuff.
Oh yeah, to like exaggerate everything.
So that when he'd give his speeches, he would like move his hands in certain ways that somehow subconsciously affect the people you're talking to.
You've never seen that episode of The Office where Dwight's giving a speech and they basically coach him because they think it'll be funny to use Hitler's speech patterns and things as he's talking, and he does, and everybody's like, "Yeah!" They're like right into what he's saying. It's a really good episode.
Yeah, the weirdest shit I've ever heard in my entire life was a couple months ago. It popped up. I listened to it. Whatever. It was like one of Adolf Hitler's early speeches, but in German or in English. Like they used AI to translate. Like it sounded like him, but in English.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them.
And I'm watching this, and I'm like, at least that speech didn't seem that bad. I was like, what's the big deal?
That's the thing. He started out saying sensible things.
Yeah, it was
like
as
in
it got people on 37 or 8 or something.
And as people were getting on board, then
all he was talking about was like making more jobs and housing and industry and blah, blah, blah. He never mentioned, the Israeli types at all. It was like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, damn, that speech, you could hear an American, someone running for candidacy in America say that, and you wouldn't even blink.
Yeah,
you
well, I
know?
mean, if he came right out the gate with the later stuff, people would have been like, "Whoa, whoa, wait, what the fuck, dude?" But
I think what really caused the accelerationism in Germany is the Weimar Republic, one, was an incredibly corrupt, degenerate government, kind of like how we are starting to get, and there were a multitude of Bolshevik uprisings in Germany at the time, and also the universities were teaching trans ideology and stuff. Like the first dude to ever get like turned from a dude to a girl was in Germany back then.
yeah, none of this stuff is new. There was
And
towards the end of
so
the
a
Roman
lot of
Empire,
your
there was
like
all kinds of gender
more
bending shit going
traditional
on.
Germans were like, It's like there's this guy and he's got a channel and he's totally not pro mustache man. Totally not. He lets you know it right off the bat. But he does point out that we always say book burning is bad. But what books were they burning? And then what hypocrites are we? Because we don't burn books, we just ban them.
Or
And then no one can get them, you know? And it's like,
I was so pissed with the Roald Dahl. All his children's books had shit changed recently. The guy who wrote
Right.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and James and the Giant Peach, they because he like used the word fat and stuff like that. So they went and like rewrote all his shit. Yeah, I would rather you burn the book than do that. That's just freaking sneaky.
well, I don't know about book burning. I'm not a huge fan. I read, Fahrenheit 451 or whatever, and but anyway, the guy was basically giving a thesis. It was like a lecture on the book burnings versus modern day correlations, And it's like, yeah, they burned a bunch of books, generally from libraries, generally written by a particular group of professors, and generally about specific subjects. And then in the modern day, we don't burn the books, we ban them. Which, oh yeah. Your wife is smart though, Kyle. From everything you've ever said about her, your wife is smart. And yes, the problem that we need to face, and more people are starting to actually call it what it is. It's not the people. It's not their ethnicity. It's not anything like that. It's their religion. Because Islam ain't just a religion, it's a political ideology. And the basis of Islam is conquest of the whole world. So that's the real issue. Because I've known so many Persians, Tunisians, Moroccans, and they've all been wonderful people. But the one thing none of them was Muslim. You know what I mean? They were all like either atheists or maybe Christian, but not really, kind of, sort of, And they'd all fled their homeland to America so they didn't get killed. And they were just normal people, like normal people, except the Persians, because if you mistake them for Arabs, boy, they will correct you real quick about that shit. We had two brothers that owned a gas station, and if you'd be like, "Are you Arabic?" and they'd be like, "Hell no, I'm not Arabic. I'm Persian." It's like, "Oh, okay, my bad." They'd be like, "It's all right, but don't forget."
Don't you see the blue shag carpeting and the gold curtains?
It's a gas station. I walk in, they're talking. It sounds like Arabic. I'm like, all right. No, they
speak Farsi in Iran, right?
Farsi,
yeah, mostly Farsi, but I think they have to learn Arabic to read the Quran because the Quran.
Yeah, it's not allowed. Islam doesn't allow it translated.
I mean, there is English translations, but if you argue with a Muslim about the Quran, he will always tell you whatever version you read. If it's not actually in Arabic, then it's wrong.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're militant about that.
Yeah, well, Cal Bear has talked a lot about the horseshoe theory. So, but personally think it's like, if you're going to follow an ideology that tells you to not be friends and kill everyone that's not a member of your ideology, and that the whole point of your ideology is to conquer the entire damn world, that's not something that's going to do well with like a liberal Western democracy, you know. And unfortunately, our liberal Western democracies are super weak to a totalitarian system that has that much willpower, you know, that striving to power. We have a vulnerability to that because they can use all of our freedoms and laws and everything against us, and we'll let them, but we can't use anything against them because it would be bigoted or racist or something. So honestly, I mean, advantage Islam. You know what I'm saying? As long as all the churches and everything are afraid to actually call it out. Won't float here. Unreal estate agent. Unreal estate agent. I love that. I don't know where here is, but I hope you're right. But that's why so many of the psychiatrists and social guys are saying that sometime in the next couple of decades, there's going to be some kind of totalitarian uprising that may or may not be Christian nationalist, and it will be a reaction to Islamicism or whatever you would call it. You lose, goose and squirrel.
I don't think there are enough in correctly placed real, like, fundamentalist Christian nationalists that they could really gain power. I don't think that's a real problem. There's definitely, I think democracy as we understand it right now isn't going to fly for much longer. Well, there's going to have to be a radical change in the way things are set up.
As a person who would 100% be a Christian nationalist, the government you're going to get is a monarchy. That's what's going to happen. And no, atheists and shit like that aren't going to be chucked into the ocean or anything like that. But what would happen is our legal system and all that stuff will become very based on biblical things. Now, a lot of people aren't going to like it because all of a sudden, you know, certain marriages and things aren't going to be legal anymore, and probably female voting be right out. But otherwise, it's not going to be much different than right now.
Repeal the 19th, you say?
Yeah.
So don't tell me more about that.
Chickens for KFC, exactly, right? Those chickens love the Colonel, baby. The Germans, I mean, like I said, I was talking to my German friend, and she was even saying she doesn't understand half of the Germans, but it's mostly the ones that live in the cities. It's almost like
it's Germans, the same here, urban versus everyone else. It's like living in cities melts people's brains for some reason.
She says over there, it's like they're suicidal. It's like Germans never brag about being German.
Oh, you're not allowed to.
They have like, if you live in Germany, you have no patriotism. And we've seen that recently when the German government asked German young people if they would fight if they went to war with Russia. And the vast majority of the young people were like, nope. And they're like, so Germany is basically effed in the A because their own people won't fight for them, you know? Has to be enforced. It's easy to enforce things. Remember what Mao said. Power comes from the barrel of a gun. So if the majority of young men between 16 and say 35, 40 decide things are going to be a way, guess what? They're going to be that way. And you will either go along with it or end up in prison or possibly shot. And no, there'll be no witch burnings. Get out of here. That's crazy. If you want a look at a functioning Christian nationalist country, it's Russia. they are basically a Christian nationalist country. And yet they're not running around burning
Poland, to
witches
a
or
degree.
hurting. Poland is basically a Christian nationalist country. Hungary is if not close. You know what I mean? It's like all of the good countries in Europe are Christian nationalists.
They're also ex-communists and know better than to
They're
go down that
ex-communists, and
road.
they know better than all that other shit, right?
And I think that's primarily the reason that they're not falling for a lot of this crap is they just got out from under that.
Yeah, like the Poles got abused by the Germans, abused by the Russians. I mean, see, and that's a thing, Unreal Estate Agents. Like, being a Christian nationalist doesn't mean we want to go back to like the time of the Salem witch burnings. We're not going back. It just means we want our government to reflect our ideology. That's it. And right now, the only ideology that this government is reflecting is Moloch and various other demons. You know, everything they do is demonic. And we don't like that. So
I'll be right back. I gotta grab some.
I gotta grab some water too. I'm empty. Mama Rusia, mama. Mama Rusia, mama. I like that video. Stuck in my head. I should send it to my pops. I know he would like it. But yeah, enforcement is easy because if you pass a law saying, hey, you're not allowed to do whatever the thing is, and it passes, then guess what? If somebody decides, you know, F the king or whatever, I'm going to do the thing, then they're going to end up in prison or jail for a while, and that'll suck. So most people will not go against the law. We see a lot of people misunderstand the idea of America's freedom of religion. It doesn't mean that people shouldn't vote according to their personal views. So
you'll make me laugh. Go to Gulag.
Yeah, right. You know, it's like, I mean, Thomas Jefferson, his big worry is that we would end up like England with like one church that everyone had to be a member of. And, you know, and plus that wasn't, or that was, I think, around the time or near around the time of the English Civil War. And we all know that frickin' what's his name was just a right prick, to quote the British. Not that King Charles I was great, but frickin' Cromwell was a straight up asshole.
Yes,
so, you know, and then they brought Charles II in, and Charles II was like, let's party. And everybody was happy again.
Didn't
wear all the makeup you want.
Like desecrate his like corpse or something crazy?
They dug Charles I's corpse up so they could draw and quarter it or some shit. It was terrible.
They did that to one of the popes too. They actually like put his like skeleton on trial.
And see, the thing with Cromwell is he was British, obviously, but I don't know When I think of British Christianity, honestly, I think of Eddie Izzard. You know, when he's talking about going to the Church of England and it's like, and yay, there is a sale at the local Target, you know, and stuff like that, you know. And Cromwell was a member of the Church of England, but he's a maniac. Like he outlawed Christmas, he outlawed any sort of sports, he outlawed makeup at all.
Well, he was a Puritan, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a Puritan, which the poor British, I wish, imagine how lucky they'd been if he had been on the Mayflower. They could have just shuffled his ass off on the Mayflower. It's like, but all of that stuff that went on, I think, I honestly love our founding fathers and what they wrote. And I think as far as can possibly be done, that's what we should be looking at. Regardless, is what the founders were thinking and stuff like that.
Well, some of them. I could deal with it with a
Cromwell
little
was
less
English.
Hamilton
Britain
in the world.
did not exist until the Act of Union. See, I don't know if I should take your word though, James L, because you're from like a mystical country that no one is sure even exists.
Oh, is he a mythic Australian?
Yeah, he's like in that weird. It's like you got to find the ice wall at the very bottom of the ocean and circle it until you find a gap. And then if you sail through it and avoid getting ate by Cthulhu, you might get to Australia.
No such place exists.
Yeah. Well, I would say this. I do know that a long, long time ago, I think the Romans did call the ancient peoples of that region the Britons. But they spelled it different. They spelled it with like an O.
Yeah, Britons.
And
History of Monmouth, history of the Britons.
And Old English, I think, was a Celtic language, but it's not
German.
Gaelic or Goidic. It's something.
Brythonic was the
Brythonic.
although it's really more of a classification because it's like you went 20 miles in a different direction. They were speaking.
Yeah, it became German after the Saxons.
Yeah, English or Old English is basically German though.
Right.
That Rowan Atkinson sketch has two of my favorite lines in it. When he goes through those, he goes, fornicators, adulterers. My God, there's a lot of you. It's a sketch of him having Satan welcoming everybody to hell at the end times. And then he goes, Christians, Muslims, Mormons, Buddhists, Shintoists, Taoists, all over there. I'm afraid the Jews were right. It's fucking great bit.
It'd be funnier if he was like, everyone over there, the Mormons were right.
Well, that's
South Park does that.
Yeah,
it's
like,
like,
I
did
was
that
church
too.
Mormon.
Well, who was right? The correct answer was Mormons, and everybody's like, "Ah,
Come on." James, the English language was created by Norman invaders trying to pick up Anglo-Saxon girls. The resulting language is as legitimate as the resulting children, my friend.
And James L., you are right. As Doc corrected me, and I accept the correction very humbly and with gratitude. Old English was Germanic. But prior to that, Boudica would have spoke a Brythunic language.
Yep.
Which was more closer to Celtic. And
Before
Wells
the Angles arrived and the Saxons arrived and created the Anglo-Saxon thing, there were just the Celtic tribes.
Right. Who apparently a lot of them hated each other worse than they
Oh,
did.
fuck. That's why they were so easy to conquer.
Yeah.
Boudica also was a bitch.
Well,
she
was
way too
dumb.
much credit.
she was a
got
little
her giant
feisty.
army caught up and wiped out by like a force 1/4 her size.
Say it to like about Canada, James. At least my country exists and can be found easily, and people visit it.
That's true. I know where it is, and I've even
She
been
slaughtered all the tribes she decided were collaborators, conveniently forgetting that up till 5 minutes earlier, the Iceni were like the biggest Roman collaborators.
Yeah.
So I can testify, which in the old Latin means to swear on my testicles, that Canada does exist. I have been there. I've seen it. I've ate donuts and drank beer and saw nudie shows.
That's
This was a
reasonable
long time ago when Michigan was stupid, but Canada had full on no pasties. Let's go check out some hot French Canadian chicks swinging around. Good times. I mean, I know it's sinful and shit, and I should repent, and I do. But at the time,
it was awesome.
Yeah, at the time it was awesome. Before I knew it was bad. Welsh language is still in existence. It sure is. And
Welsh is not a real language. Welsh is just a bunch of W's, V's, and D's strung together, and it can
L's.
be drunk in haphazard manner.
A shit ton of L's, brother.
And you never see one L alone. The L is lonely. He's bringing friends. More L's. But yeah, they basically split what we call the Celtic languages of today into like the Gaelic family and the Goidic family.
P and Q
like
Celtic.
Welsh is Goidic, Irish and Scottish are Gaelic, mainly because the Irish conquered Scotland and wiped out the Picts, and God only knows what the hell they were speaking. But anytime you see spirals carved into stone, that's not a Celtic thing. That's a Pictish thing. They were well known for building stone barrows and carving spirals. And apparently really vicious too. Like people did not try to conquer the Picts.
Even the Romans were like, you know what? Fuck this. Let's build a wall.
Yeah, that was the Scots. Hadrian's Wall was not for the Picts. Hadrian's Wall was for the Scots.
Yeah, the Scots. Were the Scotty already?
Oh yeah. The word, so Scotland comes from the Latin Scotiland, which means land of the Irish.
Yeah, the Scotty were the Irish tribe.
Yeah,
and they were.
Nothing is more fun than reminding actual Scots today of that fact. They get really spare about it.
Yeah, pretty much a bunch of northern. I'm all over the place. I thought Irish was Gaelic.
It is.
It is.
Oh well, James L. saying it's Goidic.
That's Gaelic.
No,
that's Gaelic spelled in a fucked up Gaelic way.
Yeah, it's just Gaelic. That's all that is. It's Gaelic.
Yeah, because the two family groups are basically like Wells and the
Gaelic. Gaelic should never be confused with Gallic, though. Gallic is a type of Frenchman no one wants to deal with. Okay.
You know, the province of Brittany, they speak
that's still Celtic
derived language.
So okay, hang on. There's a fun story about that. So the Bretons were not allowed to have their own language under French rule for over 100 and so many years. Like they were banned from teaching it, banned from everything. Then in the late 80s, the French government gave them the right to have schooling and linguistics in Breton again. Problem is, there were no native Breton speakers left in Brittany. So what did they do? They had to come to Canada and grab people from Cape Breton who could still speak Breton to come over and teach it. So now all these kids in Brittany grew up learning to speak Breton with a Nova Scotia accent.
You know, life is funny.
I love shit like that. That's my favorite part of fucking humanity.
The Gauls of some people, but it's Gauls.
Yeah, Gauls. Gallic fun boy, Gerard Depardieu.
And I'm pretty sure that the Romans put an end to all the Gaulish nonsense.
So that's how you can but there's the thing, like you can, if you pay enough attention, you can tell the difference between a Gallic French and another, whatever the other kind are called, because the Gallic French all wind up looking like Gerard Depardieu when they get older. They just kind of get that frog look to them, you know, and like that's why we called them frogs, right? It wasn't because they sounded like frogs; it's because they looked like them at one point. You know?
Have you ever thought that maybe one day, when no one's looking, they're going to sneak off to the ocean and jump in and swim down to where their relatives are, in like this mystical city at the bottom of the ocean where the deep ones dwell?
Wow, that's very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Insane.
It's very stupid.
Well, it's Lovecraftian because deep ones reproduce with humans. And then the humans, as they get older, they start looking more and more like frog fish.
We all know about Dunwich or Dunwich. We know.
Okay, if we all know about it, Edith, then at least go along with the joke.
Was that Dunwich?
No, because it's a stupid joke, and I'm not going along with it because you make it far too fucking often.
Oh
You're
my
obsessed
God.
with the fish people. You're obsessed with them. They're like your Hyperborea of Cthulhu mythos.
No, they're my second Hyperborea. My first is serpent people or
Yeah,
lizard.
you don't talk about them so much anymore. You
The
just
reptiloids.
I
Well,
liked
I
it when
don't
you used
talk
to
about them
about
so much because I don't know if you guys want to know this or not, but some guys knocked on my door and told me to stop talking about them.
Said, listen, motherfucker, that's enough of that serpent people talk. And you were like,
Yeah, they were all wearing black suits and stuff, and they're like, "Look, you've been talking about Mount Shasta and serpent people a bit too much.
Yeah,
You
we've
can
been
rein
here
it
for
in
10
there,
minutes.
buddy."
You haven't offered us coffee or flies or nothing.
Yeah, now we know the bullywug, which, in my opinion, Andre, are probably the scariest humanoids in any D&D game.
What game system it is where they basically have the French as actual frogs?
Lion and Dragon.
Lion and Dragon, yeah.
Yeah, if you cross the channel into what should be French, they're all bullywugs. And the humans that live there are slaves. Stygian, the best. Yeah, that's right. Chew it slow. It's the good stuff.
This better not be Haga. I would sell Haga to a slayer such as you. And that's the director, by the way, John Milius, who plays that vendor.
The vendor.
Oh, was it? I didn't know that.
I didn't
Oh,
know
Tom
that.
Milius.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, one of the best scenes ever by Sydow, von Sydow.
Max von
Oh.
Sydow. Yeah.
Yeah,
A
playing the
dagger
drunken-
such as this in my future?
Yeah.
Eaten by lions. Yeah, I love that movie.
Shadow just does not know what he's
Shadow
doing.
can shut the fuck up. It's a great movie.
Where's Shadow? He's hiding.
Now it's Saturday. He's playing, gay pirates of Buttwater or whatever it is. But Pirates of Gay Water. That's it.
Oh my God. I don't know if I'd like that game very much.
I know. I'm so mean about it. I know.
But
But that's
But
because
hey-
he's a gay man vampire.
But if some people, oh yeah, I gotta. At some point, I need to stop being lazy and write down the names of all the books I'm willing to get rid of, because not only do I got you to send the list to, but our meme master would also like a copy of the list.
Oh, for sure.
And
There comes a time, thief, when the jewels cease to sparkle, when the gold loses its luster, and when the throne room becomes a prison, and
Yeah.
all that is left is a father's love for his child.
that is so fucking deep too. It's
That's
like
what makes
it,
that fucking movie
it
so
just
good.
grabs you, don't it?
Listen, people who don't pay attention in that movie or don't are just stupid, miss how fucking deep that movie is. Like, it's insanely deep. That whole speech Valeria has about passing the open tents and never having more than she has right now and let someone else pass by instead in the night, like that begging that she's
Basically
doing to
begging
Conan.
Conan's dumbass to just like
Give it up. Your people are dead, but you've got something here. a
calm
future.
down. You got my sexy ass, and I'm
Yeah.
over here throwing the loving on you all the time. We can do
So,
stuff.
so that whole thing, right, about when Tulsa Doom
And Conan's just sitting there ignoring the shit out of her. while she's
ignoring
talking.
it, right? Because he's fucking fixated. He's obsessed. He's playing the disadvantage obsessed imperfectly at that point in time.
Yeah.
But like the whole thing about Thulsa Doom, I am your father. Was it not me who made you? That's exactly what Vader was saying to Luke. And then they turned it into, no, it's Anakin Skywalker in armor. And I'm like, no, it's way cooler when it's Vader just going, you never even knew that guy, but everything I did made you who you are. So I am your
think
father.
some of that's based on Nietzschean philosophy. too.
Yes, exactly.
I am the wellspring from which you flow.
When I am
Exactly.
gone,
You
it
would
will
not
be as
ever
though
be.
you never were.
Yeah,
And this is why when I see people sitting around raving about Star Wars, I'm like, have you fucking watched Conan?
But none of what we said matters because they didn't give Schwarzenegger a black wig.
Or blue eye contacts.
Yeah.
So every good thing we've ever said about it, forget about, guys. It don't matter.
And I still stand by my Hyrcanians are the most confused fucking visual reference point in all of fucking Hyboria because of these fucking people. Because you got a Filipino playing them in the movie, you got a redheaded fucking Irish looking bitch in the comics and now movies as well. And then if you watch the new Red Sonja movie, which we tried to watch and turned off after 15 minutes, you're like, fuck this. We watched Deathstalker or something instead.
Bad.
Brother, it's so bad. You see her little Hyrcanian village, and it's multicultural and diverse as hell with like brown people and yellow people and a couple of white people, and and they're all very multicultural. Yeah, okay.
We managed to get through section 31.
See, that
I
shit
couldn't do
would
that
work
movie.
in Hyboria, but only if you were in like a major city, and only if everyone understood that the dark people were visitors from the southern kingdoms and things like that. Like Conan handled it great. When he was in the village, there were tons of different ethnicities, but everyone understood he's Cimmerian, his buddy's a Hyrcanian, this guy's a Stygian, and they come from.
But you don't have a fucking Hyrcanian village out in the wilderness where families, it's not even a major trading hub, it's just a fucking village. But it's all like everybody migrated there because they just really wanted to get away from the wear and tear of urban life. What? Like, fuck Hollywood.
That is. Well, you look nice.
Well, thank you. I just got out of the shower.
Oh, you look nice. Camera goes dead. Show ends.
What? Okay. So anyway, I was ordering food for dinner.
Okay.
And I decided since you didn't care, I would go the cheap route.
Okay.
It's still pepperoni, banana pepper, and black olive, right?
Yep.
Stuffed crust.
Yep. No. Thin crust.
Thin crust now?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I will change it.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Love you.
Love
Are you
you.
having pizza? Are you having pizza?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, now I want pizza. I was going to make chicken wings, but now I want pizza.
See what you did, James?
Damn, now I want chicken wings. Not really. Not really. No, baby. I was joking. She would order me some wings. I don't know.
Why not?
Of course she would. Yeah, that's what they did with The Witcher too. It's not that I was mad that were black or Asian people in The Witcher, even though, let's be honest, there shouldn't have been at all. It's a story based in of medieval Poland, right? And
I gotta read. I can't talk anymore. I gotta read shit Doc sent me.
Oh, it's a couple pages.
Yeah, but I gotta read it.
It's this idea that you go into the tavern, right?
There's a map.
And everyone in the tavern. Okay, let's say you're in my campaign world, which is based on Kievan Rus, Russia, about the 9th, 10th century, right? If you go into a tavern and there's like a wide selection of different people there, right? But they all are acting like they're natives to that area, that's what takes me right out of it. But if you go into the tavern and most of the native people look the same and are homogenous, but there's a table full of Arabic traders from the South, okay, now that makes sense. And I'm with you now. You know what I'm saying? 13th Warrior did a good job of that. They managed to throw the Arabs in there, but without trying to pretend like they were Vikings. And that's really what bothers me the most, honestly.
I hate to break the news to everybody. The 2014, so Conan, 1982,
I think, yeah, something like
is
that.
its own thing, right? It doesn't feel like a Conan novel. It doesn't feel like a Conan comic.
Yeah.
Conan the Destroyer feels absolutely like the Conan the Barbarian comics from Marvel. Absolutely.
Yeah. The colored ones, the little colored ones.
Yeah. Conan 2014 is probably the one that feels the most like Conan if you actually pay attention to what's going on and everything. But people hated it so much.
I can tell you why.
Go for it.
Well, first off, it had nothing to do with the guy they picked to play Conan. I thought he did a great job.
Momoa was
really
actually
good.
really awesome as Conan.
Really
Yeah, I'm not saying he could have been, someone out there couldn't have been better, but he did a great job. It was that the story sucked. The story sucked. It just
Yeah.
sucked.
Yeah, it was just weak writing.
It was
really, really
weak.
bad writing.
And even if there was woke elements to it, I don't remember at this point because it's been so long since I watched the movie. All I remember is like hauling a ship through a jungle and having to get the person with the right blood and all this stupid shit. It was just dumb. It wasn't Conan, you know. Momoa could have been Conan though, and if they got him some good writers, he could have been Conan for 3 or 4 movies. But they effed it up. Plus, you should never put Rose McGowan in anything ever.
Anything.
Yeah, just pretend like she
Which
don't
was she?
exist.
Was she that she was the main
The
chick?
daughter. She was the
Oh,
daughter.
She was the weird daughter, and also she was
Oh,
married
yeah.
to Marilyn Manson for a while.
Well, I can't imagine that would mess anybody's head
God
up.
damn it. I really want pizza now, you prick.
Yeah, well, I like mine with thin crust, pepperoni, peppers, not bell peppers, but hot peppers,
Yeah.
and freaking olives. So sweet or not sweet, but savory.
Let's see if Domino's has any fucking deals.
You know what's good that Pizza Hut makes, and I don't even like Pizza Hut, but they sell these like pepperoni, like it's like they took a couple pieces of pepperoni pizza and just folded it in half, and they send it to you, and it's actually, they're really good.
Yeah, Pizza Hut in Canada sucks now.
Yeah, well, it does down here too, but for some reason, I will never understand, and I've quit even questioning. My wife loves it.
They were actually, as far as chain pizza places go, they were the best back in like the
80s.
the 80s and 90s. They were actually really
They were falling
decent.
off in the 90s, but by the 2000s they were done. But they were great in the 80s. Your own personal pan pizza? Caution.
Well, everything Pizza Hut was great in the 80s because you could go in and like just buy.
They had that bar. That
they
bar.
had a salad bar and a pizza bar, and
no, they had a Sunday bar.
Yeah, and it was cheap. You could take the kids in there and like let them go and get their own salad or pizza. No, I'm talking about Pizza Hut when it was good. When you could actually go in and order a pitcher of beer and the pizza bar and salad bar thing, and it costs like nothing. And, you know, if you want salad, have salad. If you want pizza, have pizza, you know. James L's talking about Berg Vickerson for some reason.
That's nice.
He's not really, but I'm just throwing it out there. Who got arrested in France because it turns out if you show up in France and start waving around National Socialist flags, they put you in jail. Yeah, they don't have freedom of speech like in America. Not that I think most Americans are dumb enough to do that, but so now apparently he's like a survivalist prepper dude, and he lives way out in the wilderness with his wife and like freaking half dozen kids, and writes role-playing games and argues with me on Twitter when I used to go on Twitter. You were 12, yeah. What me and my brother did is we at a theater on one side of the drive-in, they were playing Smokey and the Bandit, and on the other side was Conan. So Haas and I told our parents we were really sleepy, and we climbed into the very back of the Vista Cruiser station wagon they had, where we were looking out the back window at the Conan screen. We didn't know what they were saying, but we watched the shit out of it. You know? It was like, wow, did you see that? Oh, man. And that we were addicted after that. My brother and I, as soon as we didn't even get to hear it, just watching it, we were like, I don't know who this Conan is, but I love him. I must know everything about him. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Pizza Hut. They had their shit together and then boom,
They
it was
got
gone.
bought. They got bought by a conglomerate.
Yeah, well, it's too bad.
It's kind of the same thing that happened to Wendy's. They were like a cut above all the other fast food places, and then after Dave Thomas died, his daughter took over, and then the board decided to force her out because they wanted her to change, start doing shit cheaper, and she was like, "No, we're doing it the way my dad did it." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well then there's the door."
Goodbye.
Yeah, I hate the board. The board always does dumb, stupid shit. You ever notice
That's
that?
pretty low though. They kicked Wendy out of Wendy's.
Well, they kicked Papa John out of Papa John's. When Games Workshop become a publicly traded company, that's when they basically started becoming a bunch of douchebags. To quote Pickles, the drummer, they're a bunch of douchebags. Anyway, you got to watch Death Clock or Metalocalypse to get that. Pickles, the drummer, doobly dee, doobly da, doobly dee. That's his name. And then you've got Toki Wolftooth, not a bumblebee. Swishgar Squig Elf, taller than a tree. And then Nathan Explosions, just like Nathan Explosion. Murder Face, Murder Face, Murder Face. His first, middle, and last name is Murder Face. I love the one where they're like wanting to be part of a religion. And they try going to like a Roman Catholic church and they get bored. And then they like try going to a satanic church, but it's like identical to the Roman Catholic church. Like not identical, but like the preacher's all up there being like, now remember, don't leave treats in the pews. We don't need raccoons. Okay. Hell Satan. And like, it's like really mundane. So in the end, they're just back at the bar, just getting pissed drunk because they're like, you know what? I don't think I like this. I'm just going to go hang out in the bar and get drunk. And that was kind of the moral of the whole story, really, was that hang out with your friends and get pissed drunk. Not maybe a great moral from a Christian point of view, but it was funny to watch.
It was metal. It was brutal.
It was brutal, though. That was the thing, yeah.
I like how that showed the entire
they were driving around on the Death Cycle, which is that freaking motorcycle that has like 4 sidecars, and they got in a wreck, and Murderface got slung out of the Death Cycle and like fell on his face and then scraped down the pavement like for a block and hit a telephone pole. And when he finally came back from all of that, he's like, I've decided to become religious now. And he starts going through all these religions, and he's making the other guys go with him, and they're just all like, ugh. And then they're even like Toki. Toki's parents are like some kind of really Puritan Christians from like Norway. And every time he meets his parents, they never say anything. It's just his dad and mom stare at him and he stares back, and that's just it. And they're dressed up like pilgrims or something, you know? And it's just like, then they leave and Toki's like, it was nice to see you, Mom, Dad. But, and of course, Swishgar's the way he is because his mom was the biggest whore in all of Sweden. And they had very thin walls in their house when he was growing up. So he was always hearing his mom just getting banged out by randos. And you see young Swishgar, and he's sitting in there, and all of a sudden you can hear his mom start talking, and then boom, 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 boom. And he picks up his guitar, and he's just like, you know, just playing it because that was his outlet because his mom made him so crazy that he just played the guitar until he became like the fastest guitarist in the world. I mean, and Nathan Explosion had a wonderful childhood, loved his mom and dad, grew up in Florida, you know, never had a problem. So I don't know what his problem is. His dad was like a decorated veteran from the military. Like his mom was a stay-at-home mom. His dad used to take him fishing and stuff. Like Nathan was like, they were all bitching about their childhood. And Nathan's like, actually, my childhood was really good. You know, my dad used to take me fishing and stuff, you know, and the rest of them are like, what? Murderface's dad killed his mom with a chainsaw and then committed self-deletion with the same chainsaw while Murderface was sitting in a high chair eating Cheerios. And they did it in front of him.
Hey, Doc, are you ready for Hudson Hawk tonight?
Oh, hell yeah. What time? 8 o'clock?
Nice.
I don't know. We'll see how long this goes.
Well, I mean, I'm waiting.
Maybe you and me watching, and then Jerry's going to come in. No one else shows up for this shit.
I'm going to wait for people to show up, and then we're going to decide, because one of the people may not show up. And if like too many people don't show up, we probably won't do the role-playing game.
What game are you supposed to be playing tonight?
Hyperborea.
Never heard of it. What's it about?
Oh, the adventure?
No, the game. This Hyperborea. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Hyperborea.
What's it about? What's the game? Tell me more.
You know,
How come you've never mentioned this before?
Yeah, what is this? I've never heard you talk about this game before. What is it?
Well, they just got rid of the demon rats that were like totally driving the innkeeper mad.
Oh, is it a fantasy game? I didn't realize.
Yes.
The name like Hyperborea. I thought it would be like sci-fi.
No, it's fantasy.
Oh, interesting.
And so now I'm not sure. They might have to go to the village of Harrod in the swamp and try to save the village from a curse where like this evil black animal shaped specter keeps showing up and eating children.
My wife surprised me with dill friend chicken and sides. What the hell is a dill friend?
Maybe they, between the time when the oceans drank Atlantis and the rise of the sons of Arius.
Well, read as he wrote it. Between the time when oceans drank Atlantis, the oceans and the tide of feet.
Well, in Hyperborea, part of Atlantis still exists, but the Atlanteans are basically a very low population race who may be dying out because they can't reproduce with non-Atlanteans. And that's their big issue, you know. And the reason is because they have gills and various other amphibious qualities. So
I apologize. This is on me. I apologize. I'm the guy who made it seem like I gave a fuck. This is all my bad.
Yeah, but you know what? There's people out there on the chat that do care.
It is I alone, Michael, who is chronicler to his whatever the fuck.
To his whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
This fucking guy.
Fucking Conan, this guy. Shows up, just stab people in face. Oh.
Warrior,
Oily
what are
sword.
the
I look
flowers
like a
for?
fucking maid.
Right? What are the flowers for? For girls. Mako's just losing his shit laughing.
Yeah, the way he laughs.
Feed the horse. Oil the sword. It's like Conan showed up and the wizard's basically like, I'm your guy from now on. I know we just met, but I don't give a shit. Like totally
Between the times when the oceans drank Atlantis and the rise of the sons of Arius, there was an age undreamed of.
An age of high adventure. Dun, dun, dun,
Let
dun,
me tell you
dun,
of the
dun,
days
dun.
of high adventure.
You also, and I know this is like, some people might be like, you're a lame bitch. But he was Uncle Iroh in the animated Avatar series.
He was also
And Uncle Iroh,
the bad guy in Samurai Jack. He was a coup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Uncle Iroh was like one of the best characters ever. Like anyone who's ever watched that damn show, it's very hard to find anyone who doesn't say Uncle Iroh was just fucking awesome. He was just so good all the time. And his nephew was a little
Morgoth of Barbaria was the shit. I wish that had gotten a series.
Where he rubs himself down in pigeon shit. So
yeah,
we need them to think we're one of them. And the wizard comes home and he's like looking for his golden goblin. And the wizard's crazy as shit.
Yep. That should have been a fucking series. It's so sad it didn't get picked up.
I love when the really tall dude with the top knots like, you will feel pain, and he's talking all this shit, but not like any other pain. And Korgot just grabs his top.
Just rips a strip out of him.
You were saying?
Yeah, he grabs the top knot and just pulls down, and the dude's skin just comes right off the front of him. And then he throws the whiskey on him, and the guy's just like, ah! Oh, man. Yeah. There was some good actors in that. I mean, James Earl Jones ate the screen up in Conan. You could tell he was loving every minute of it too.
Yeah, he was freaking awesome in that.
And you know what? When you watch a movie and you can tell the actors are having a good time, it's easy to like the movie. You know, when you can tell they're just kind of freaking phoning it in, you're just like, okay, whatever. It's one of the reasons I love LA Confidential so much. Everyone in that movie, you can tell they're having a good time doing whatever it is they're doing, you know, whether Danny DeVito or was it Danny DeVito? No, it was
Danny DeVito's in
yeah, he was the one that ran the newspaper.
Yeah.
Very down or very on the QT, on the down low, and very hush hush. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, it's crazy because my mom said during that time period, like if you went to a movie like Jason or something like that, Mike Myers and shit, people would be like crying and throwing up and leaving the movie theater because of the gore. And now we're like, I don't want to play a war game unless I get to see someone bleed. You know, it's like, I don't know what we've done to ourselves, but it's like, you know.
We grew up on a steady diet of Jason, Mike Myers, and Freddy Krueger.
And it messed some of us up a lot.
And we lived for the headshot.
Oh, yeah. Headshot.
They always had the same thing. The squib on the back of the head with the wall behind them. So it'd go and paint the wall with their motherfucking brains.
Well, I remember the one guy that used to like always record himself online playing like freaking Counter-Strike or whatever. And he'd always be like, headshot, baby. And then when he'd get killed, he'd like break his keyboard. He'd like, rage out and snap his keyboard in half. Then that'd be the end of his stream. Because, you know.
No keyboard.
Yep. And people would be like, dude, you need to calm down, man. You keep tearing your keyboards in half. But speaking of Mike Myers, that's right.
Did you bring up that factoid just so you could show us that?
Mm-mm. I wish it'd focus in. I just like the fact that I have a D&D character that's Mike Myers.
Dinner for wolves.
Yeah, dinner for wolves.
Yeah, he was actually Mexican. He was some big like surfer guy.
Yeah, in Hawaii. I thought he's Filipino because he looks Asian, but he's got a Spanish name. And that is very common with your Filipinos, let me tell you. But I could be wrong
Is
about
that
it.
where jalapenos come from? Filipino?
Yeah, those jalapenos. But you know, he did a great job, and he goes down in history as like the best sidekick ever. Because I don't know too many sidekicks that would run across
I'm
the
gonna
desert.
still say Chewbacca takes the fucking cake on that one.
Would Chewbacca run across the desert to kill Han Solo off a tree?
Yes.
Well, he has to, though, because of his blood oath, and he's a Wookiee.
Exactly,
And
which makes
Wookiees
him the
live like
best.
that. It's like once they give their blood oath to you, then they're basically your slave forever.
Why you gotta do Chewie like that, man?
I like Chewie.
You're in
Call
charge
him a
of
slave.
get in the house.
Well, the door's unlocked, so I'm in charge of saying, "Come in." You gotta run. Conan had some of the best cinematography. Yeah. Look, one of my dear friends, whose company I enjoy very much, for some reason cannot see eye to eye with anybody on the Conan movie. Just can't do it.
And his name is Gay Man.
Robin gets his head crushed in by the Joker with
that's Jason Todd.
With a freaking tire
Dick
iron.
Grayson is still loyal. Stop your nonsense.
Well, he becomes Nightwing.
Yes.
And then the bat that smiles kills him.
Okay, no. There's about 40 fucking years of comics between those two events, James. He becomes Nightwing and then immediately is killed by the Batman who smiles. No.
I'm just saying what was on the new YouTube. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you.
Read a fucking book.
No.
Well, then, continue to listen to me be a pedant.
Actually, fine. I will read a book. And you know what book it's going to be? It's going to be this book right here. This one. And you can tell this is the most up-to-date version because it has the yellowy colored Hyperborea. The older version had like a dark orange.
Let's not have a Hyperborea edition war now.
Oh, no, I have the older edition.
You have the old edition. That means you're a loser.
Okay. You say so, Daddy Bo Warbucks.
I actually took my older editions and just gave them to my brother-in-law because I looked at it and there's not that much of a difference that would matter anyway. How dare you sully Chewbacca's good name? Chewbacca's cool, guys, but Subutai is cool too. You put me in a weird spot here because I'm not a Star Wars fan. Sorry. I would much rather sit down and watch Willow than A New Hope. And you know what? I'm 10 toes down on that. Willow was a better movie. Even though the story is basically identical. With a few gender swaps here and there. Why you give me the side eye?
The story of Willow is not the same as the story of Star Wars.
It's almost identical. General Kell is Darth Vader.
Okay, so one thing. Lucas's fixation with having villains wear cool helmets, therefore it's exactly like Star Wars.
No, it wasn't Lucas, though. I think Opie Cunningham
Ron Howard
did that one.
He directed it, but Lucas wrote it.
Mad Mardigan is Han Solo.
No, he's not.
Sure he is.
No, he's
and
not.
Willow is Luke Skywalker.
No,
he's
he's not.
To learn the Force.
No, oh my God, that is so basic. You're like literally reducing it to like these basic storytelling elements and then calling it the same movie.
Morda is pretty much Palpatine.
Oh my God.
And there's a rebellion.
Stop. It's not a rebellion, it's a war.
Billy Barty is Yoda.
Billy Barty's Yoda. And the trolls are, I don't know. And the other halfling guy is Chewbacca, but he leaves halfway through the movie. And the baby, well, that's clearly Princess Leia, because she's helpless and useless for the entirety of Star Wars. And
Princess Leia has a fucking 100% accuracy rate with her weapon.
Finn Rizal is Obi-Wan Kenobi, but lives. Yeah.
See, now you're getting it.
You have literally lost all credibility to the movie when you talk about movies.
Future soldier program, by the way. That'd be scary. I liked General Kell, though. He's just an old, crusty bastard in the skull helmet. Yeah. That was good. And of course, Val Kilmer at the height of his Val Kilmerness.
I have and always have felt that General Kale's helmet looks stupid.
You know what? You're a contrarian, and I don't care.
No, it was too plastic looking. Had they made it look like it was carved out of metal and like painted it not white, but like a nice steel with like etchings, it would have looked badass. But instead, it looked like they bought it at fucking Toys R Us.
You know, I'm not listening to you.
Well, you think Willow and Star Wars are the same film, so we're on the same page on that not listening program.
Right. I will not look, sir. I will not take any sort of advice from someone who doesn't like Willow and think it's awesome.
I love Willow. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever. I fucking adore that movie.
Okay, you're back in the inner circle then.
My entire mantra before that.
I mean, you almost got freaking
shut up,
excommunicated, but
yeah, whatever.
You're back.
Espiritus Sanctos.
Yeah, you're back.
Right before that fucking TV series came on, my mantra on YouTube every time I posted something about it was, "Please don't suck, please don't suck, please don't," and then it sucked.
Of course, it sucked.
It had some good ideas. There were some neat concepts in it and some good visuals, but overall, it just was shit.
Well, Mad Mardigan was a deadbeat dad, and what's her name?
That's not surprising.
Like a weird lesbian that was also biracial.
That fucking actress, like she was everywhere for a little while there, and then everyone realized, oh, she can't act, and they stopped putting her in shit.
Yeah, they put her in one of the Marvel movies too. She was
they put her in the Marvel TV show, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, she was like the leader of the assholes that were like being terrorists or something.
Well, she first showed up in Han Solo, the Han Solo Star Wars story.
Oh, that bitch,
yeah. She's like biracial. She's a biracial redheaded chick with a lot of freckles.
Yep. And
it's like, okay, but can she act? And the answer, much as the same I would say with Zendaya, is no. No. She come in.
No, but you wanted to fuck Zendaya more than you wanted to fuck her.
Oh yeah, for real. What's up? It's good to see you.
You too. Where's Tracy?
She went to the store. She'll be back in literally like a minute or two.
Okay, cool beans.
So just make yourself comfortable. Do whatever. Have some coffee.
All right.
Ooh, my pizza's away.
Fucking forgot the Christmas.
Who is this crazy person?
That's one of my players. Don't worry about it. Christmas isn't until the 7th anyway.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But anyway, yeah, Willow is definitely one of the greatest movies from that era. Well, Coco, you know what they say about the hero's journey. I mean, it's true. It's pretty much true. The guy who wrote the hero's journey, he wasn't wrong. There's only so many stories, and they all go the same way, basically. Beastmaster, yes. You got to see Tanya Katane or whatever her name's tits. That made it.
Roberts.
Who?
Tanya Roberts. If you want to see Tanya Katane's tits, you have to watch Perils of Gwendolyn.
Well, anyway, you got to see that redheaded chick's tits. That made Beastmaster worth it 100%. Plus, I thought the Jund Barbarians were kind of creepy and cool. And the leader with the weird leather helmet and the bat
that was cool
and shit. That was kind of young, teenage James was like, oh, shit.
Nice girl.
Yeah. Wow. That was pretty cool. And the poor dog grabs him and drags him off and gets shot with a crossbow and dies. That's not cool.
Wait, how do we get into Mad Max all of a sudden?
Right. It's like, what kind of asshole shoots a dog? Just a pure asshole. They deserve what they get. And then, these guys. Oh, there's a white dog minding his business. Let me shoot it with a crossbow for no reason. And then you get to see the one dude wearing like leather daddy outfit and oiled up so that he's super shiny. I don't know if he should have been within 50 feet of that little kid, but I mean, whatever. Shit's different in that world. And they had to throw the biggest, most obvious honking Jewish nose on Rip Torn. It's like when you see the profile, it's just like, so it's like, what are you doing? Why did you do that? And he was awesome in the role.
Yeah, he was really good.
His evil witch helpers, every one of them had amazing tits. I mean, their faces were not good at all, but the tits were tits. And the crazy people in the dungeon, they fill their brain full of a vicious blah, blah, blah when the kid's talking about it. Makes them all crazy and shit, and then they encase them in the armor. You're like, huh. Neat. Like, I could use that in a D&D game. You know what?
Those weird crow men were always the ones that
That would fit right in.
I like the crow men that swallow and digest people with their wings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
so
kinda
disappointed
weird.
by the sequel to that because there were so many cool things they had set up that they could have done from the first gotten into from the first
Time
movie.
to go. Yep. Catch you later, Squirrel. Always a pleasure, sir. I don't know why you don't join us, but
He's too squirrely.
yeah, he is squirrely. He's a squirrely guy.
No movie for you.
No. So
It's fine. I need your stupid movie anyway.
I'm gonna have my own movie.
I get my own movie, Blackjack and Hookers. And forget the movie. It's just gonna be Blackjack and Hookers. And fuck the Blackjacks. It's gonna be hookers.
there'll be a beer volcano. And a
Oh, I
hooker
saw this
factory.
awesome. You know that I forget who did it. It was a Renaissance painting. Lucifer expelled from heaven. He's like looking over his shoulder as he's walking away from the gates. Somebody added the caption, "Fine, I'll start my own heaven with blackjack and hookers."
Well, I know about the blackjack and hookers from the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Do you remember Flying Spaghetti Monster?
Oh yes.
Yes, the pasta.
The Flying Spaghetti Monster's heaven was a beer volcano, a hooker factory, and like blackjack. The Clash of the Titans was pretty good.
The original, yes.
The original one was amazing.
That was Ray Harryhausen's last movie.
The only thing that was kind of cool in the second one was the Medusa.
Yeah.
The Medusa was pretty badass, and Mads Mikkelsen's character. Is it Mads Mikkelsen who played that character?
Who played
The head of the guards that
Medusa
basically
was played by an actual known actress.
The Medusa?
Yeah, I think she was. Was she played by the same girl that was in like Kill Bill?
Was it 2010, 2013? It was 2010. You ever watch any riff tracks there, buddy?
No, sir.
There's a I have the Clash, or I had, it's on my hard drive that died. Their version of Clash of Titans 2010. And when Gemma Ayrton shows up and she's like, "My name is Io," one of the guys goes, "Io." Yeah, I've seen it, not Draco. It's garbage.
But you didn't like it?
The new Deathstalker?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's so what makes the Deathstalker movies fun is that they were doing their best with what they had, right?
Right.
They didn't know any better. They're not great writers. They didn't have a lot of money. They were being shot by Argentinians for Roger Corman with an American trying to run everything. And it was meh.
The hero was
but they were
kind of a
fun.
bad
They were
guy.
fun because they were trying their best. The new one, they could do better. They could write better. They could do a lot more interesting shit. And they're trying to make a bad movie. But when you try to make a bad movie, that sucks. And the girl who played Medusa was Natalia Vodianova.
Yeah, I realized I'm dumb because what's her name as the Medusa was in that Percy Jackson and the fucking whatever.
I don't know. I ever watched that.
Yeah, she owned like a place where you could buy like statues, but it turns out she was Medusa. And Percy Jackson, I guess, is like the son of Poseidon. And he gets blamed for stealing Zeus.
The only thing I really liked in that Clash of the Titans was that Hades was the bad guy, and it was all just a fucking plan to fuck with Zeus.
Mhm.
And Ray Fiennes was really good the way he sort of spoke. It was kind of cool. My pizza's almost here. I'll be back.
My favorite Hades is obviously from the animated Hercules. What is my hair out? That guy was so good. Who was that? That's James Wood as Hades. It's just like, oh my God, that guy cracked me up big time. And then you had like Bobcat Goldthwait and frick, I don't know who the other guy was, but playing the imps. If he finds out, we're going to be in trouble. If he finds out. If is good. Yeah, in the animated Hercules, James Wood is Hades.
He was fun in that.
And he is freaking loving every minute of being Hades. You can tell. He's like over the top, fucking just doing his thing, cracking jokes, being a dick.
Yeah, he like runs. He plays him as like a CEO of a corporation.
Yeah,
like
it's
dirty,
like
sleazy.
crazy. He's still pissed off at Zeus for making him in charge of hell. But yeah, pretty funny. It's probably of all of that era of Disney cartoons, Hercules is probably the best one. It's got a great soundtrack, and it's just a good story. It's nothing like the actual Hercules stories at all, but it's still kind of cool. And you got, again, I think it's Danny DeVito playing the freaking satyr that's trying to teach him to be a hero.
Yeah, that was Danny DeVito.
Sorry, Percy Jackson, you are not real. Xena, warrior princess. Oh, and her little blonde sidekick or side piece. I'm not sure what was going on there, but so what'd you miss? We were talking about Hercules, the animated series, and James Woods, who is also in one of my favorite vampire movies of all time, which I think is John Carpenter's Vampires. The one where they work for the Vatican and they just kind of cruise around killing vampires. Oh, the political stuff was just us saying we're super happy about Venezuela. Well, I was saying that. And I hope they have a peaceful transfer of power. And like my friend, I'm sad because I think he'll go home, but I don't blame him for wanting to go home. And then, okay, what not your echo say? What's he saying? Oh, I can't tell. I'm a boomer. I have no idea how to see old tweets. Now, I watched Deathstalker last week because I was talking about it. Like, dude shows up out of nowhere, right? Kills a bunch of subhumans, then kills the guy, the kidnapper, with a dagger, and then immediately tries to grape the woman that the first guy was going to grape, and then all the savage humans were going to grape. And he would have done it too, but she like snuck away when the old man came up and was like talking to him. And it's like, you know, I don't think Deathstalker's a good guy. Okay, the new Deathstalker movie These two say they did not like it.
Awful.
Diversity and Dragons and Mouse and Rogan said they loved it. So take your opinions as you will. I haven't seen it, so I can't say. But I did watch Deathstalker 1, the original, the other day, and I liked that.
Yeah, that's a fun movie.
And I watched the one that had like Carradine in it.
Oh yeah, I can't remember that we watched that on a movie night too. I can't remember what that was called, but that was fun.
Yeah, it's basically Fistful of Dollars, but
yeah,
medieval.
basically.
And then the main female in the show seems to not know what shirts are or bras. She spends literally the whole show walking around topless. Like, damn, these Spanish movies, man. They know what a young man wants to see in a fantasy movie. People getting killed with swords and boobs. So, pretty much. The Barbarian Brothers. God, that movie. It's so bad, it's great.
I love that movie.
Yeah. I've never seen that one either. I got to check that out some point.
Hawk
Watch
the
that
Slayer.
after Hudson Hawk then. How's that sound?
Oh, cool. That sounds awesome.
Warrior and the Sorceress. And you had Hawk the Slayer.
Hawk the Slayer is garbage.
And then, of course, you guys already mentioned Beastmaster, which is one
I
of
like
the best.
Ator. But I like Ator especially with riff tracks. I have good news, Ator. You and Sonia are not brother and sister. How's that hot? I love that fucking line.
That's like in Joe Dirt when he thinks that blonde chick is his sister, and then he finds out she's not, but they still do it. And when they're doing it, she's like, "I'm your sister. I'm your sister." And they're freaking just going to town on each other. It's like, that's weird. But I love the message of Joe Dirt, which is basically never give up. Just keep on keeping on, That's kind of the whole message. Joe Dirt is like the worst sort of guy ever, but he just keeps a good attitude and just keeps on going.
All right, Doc, you have a choice to make. The Barbarian Brothers or Ator with riff tracks?
Oh, I can't turn down a riff tracks.
All right, let me go get that.
The Barbarian Brothers. I mean, what do you do when you have literally tens of dollars for a budget and two twins that like to work out and pump steroids?
So true.
You make a movie and you call it The Barbarian Brothers. And that movie, they're definitely having a good time and no one is taking anything serious. They're just freaking just running around.
I've never seen that one clip. Look at us. We're huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
that's like my knowledge of the film is that scene.
Well, they were though. They weren't lying. They are freaking abnormally big.
Were they identical twins?
Yes.
No.
And they were both abnormally, like weirdly big.
Yeah, one of them died though in the 2000s, early 2000s.
What, heart attack?
I think. I can't remember.
I mean, all the steroids they had to be doing.
Oh, fuck yeah, to be that huge?
Because no human being, I don't give a shit how much time you spend in the gym, you're not ever going to look like that.
Yeah.
These guys
well,
look
that's
like
become the thing. If you look at like the Mr. Universe winners, like Sean Connery was a Mr. Universe winner. He got into acting the same way Arnold Schwarzenegger did. He was cut, but he wasn't like, giant or anything.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty silly when Dar's standing there and he's like, Rah! Like, what the fuck? Well, I mean, Schwarzenegger admitted, like in an interview, that he did steroids. So, I mean, if anybody had any like weird doubts about that, they can put that aside. He did steroids. Because unless you're doing juice, you will never look like these bastards. I mean, it is what it is, You can make yourself have like a really low body fat and you can make yourself be very muscular. but you're not going to be one of these guys with 48-inch biceps and crazy shit like that. That
28-inch pythons, brother. What you gonna do?
Yeah, you pay for that. You pay for that, and usually it's a heart attack.
And tiny testicles.
Luckily, well, that didn't happen with Schwarzenegger apparently, because he's still got a thing for the Latinas. But he has, I think, had a quadruple bypass and some other surgeries in his life. Of course, he's like 80, 70 something at least. I mean, Schwarzenegger's been around, I remember he played in like one of the worst movies of all time, is like American Hercules or something.
Oh yeah,
Hercules
in New York or something.
Yeah, it was really bad.
They overdub him with an English voice.
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, I'm agreeing with you. I didn't really know that, but I tried to watch it, and I was just like what, what? Like I don't get it, And then there's another one where he was like, he was in the Old West, and he was like some kind of super good guy with like a shiny silver revolver or some shit. And I don't know if they dubbed his voice in that one too. They probably did though. But that was when he had just come to America. And then after Conan, they were like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to make like 5 of the best action movies ever put to film, and we're going to star this goofy fucker. And then they did. Well, I don't know if it's 5, but it's a lot. Predator, Commando, Running Man, freaking Total Recall.
Raw Deal was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that dude for like 10 years, he was like the king of action movies. Like no one was even near him.
No one.
And then it was like, and then him and Danny DeVito, twins. Oh my God. They took all the singing from all these dudes,
which was an amazing film.
Yeah, True Lies was good.
That was great. And it had Bill Paxton in it as the car salesman that was trying to pretend to be a spy to get in what's-her-name's pants. And then when she goes into the hotel and it's dark and he makes her strip down to her underwear and dance for him, he's like, damn.
So I'm watching that movie with my mother.
Miss Curtis looking
and that
good.
Scene comes up, and my mother and I feel very uncomfortable watching a movie together all of a sudden.
It's like Jamie Lee Curtis looking pretty good. She's got to be like 40 or 50 in that movie. It's like,
you see her tits in Trading Places.
Yeah, still looking pretty good. Somebody tried to tell me she was born a man, and I was like, well, I don't care.
Well, you saw her tits in Trading Places. I assure you, boob jobs didn't look that good in the 80s.
I know. I remember when I dated the one chick that had like the big fake boobs, like the stripper tits. I always had to like put this vitamin E gel under them and rub it, because otherwise she would have nasty scars under those things. And plus they were hard like a football. And I was supposed to squeeze them a lot because it was supposed to make them like become more natural. So, you got to do that. And it's like not worth it really, man. But
unless
choice.
Listen, unless you've had a mastectomy or you have some like really weirdly shaped titties, a woman with fake tits is the biggest red flag in the world for me. If she is so superficial that she would do that to her own body, nah, I'm good, man. For the price of a decent used car, no less, like Jesus Christ.
Well, you know how people like to start sentences with, I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it. You're right. and it doesn't bother me at all to say it, because Bear, my friend, you are 100% correct. Another big red flag is chick doesn't have custody of her own kids. That is a red flag. If you're
And
dating,
oftentimes she has big
like,
fake titties, and she's on stage at the Sunlight Room.
for some reason, some dudes like to brag about dating a stripper, and it's like, dude. I mean, I know they're trying to say sex work is real work and all that, but I don't believe it. And I damn sure would not want to date a woman that's like, swinging on a pole and giving, hand jobs to tippers. Now I got 2 dogs here to bark.
That it's actual work doesn't mean anything. Okay, yeah, sure, it's a job. It's an actual job
Right.
people have, and
Because now Hungar told me the trick though. Anytime you go to a strip club, if you're planning on getting like a lap dance, just wear nothing. Just wear gray sweatpants. Don't even bother with the underwear.
They know. I've been down for strip clubs. They know.
Like, yep, time to get my lap dance. Oh, that's so filthy.
Okay, I gotta go. I gotta eat something before movie night begins.
Yep, I'm gonna go too, and you got guests.
I will catch you guys later.
Bye.
See you later, Bear.
Hey, read that bestiary. Let me know what you think.
Yes,
Bye,
I will.
guys.
I just download it. Talk to you later.
Does he look happy?
So now it's just me and you guys. Yeah, it comes with issues, comes with a whole freaking subscriptions. Yeah, I agree. Conan is the one that put him on the map. And I actually didn't think Conan the Destroyer was bad. And I really liked, what's his name? Was that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Wilt Chamberlain? Whoever it was, the giant guy that played Mbata. I thought that was cool. And they were worshiping, believe it or not, a Cthulhu deity. And a lot of people miss it, but there's a deity from a story in Cthulhu called the Temple.
Oh, he went to get the Pizza Hut, ordered from the Pizza Hut.
And the deity looks like this Greek beautiful thing in statue form, but it's really like this giant, like submarine monster. Wilt Chamberlain, yeah, man. It's so funny too. You see Schwarzenegger and he looks so big, but then you see him standing next to Wilt Chamberlain and you're like, is that a hobbit? Because Wilt Chamberlain's just so big. It's like, damn. But yeah, what is the name of the deity from the Lovecraft story, The Temple? Because in that story, a German U-boat sinks an English ship and then it shoots all of the escape boats. And then they later find a dead man clinging to the side of the U-boat. And he has like the statue of like almost like Apollo or Dionysus or something, like the head of it. And when they, yeah. And then like the longer the U-boat is traveling around, this is World War I, trying to do shit, that statue head starts driving the crew of the U-boat crazy. Like, and they're all like, get rid of it. And they're complaining how when they look out the porthole, they can see dead people swimming by the sub. And it gets really weird. And in the end, the captain ends up killing everybody, or the people delete themselves. And the submarine blows up, so he can't control it. The engines blow up. And so he knows he's slowly going to suffocate. And the submarine settles down and he sees like a Greek city with pillars and stuff, but he can't recognize any of the writing. And there's actual light coming out of the temple. And yeah, it turns out it's the temple to the statue head. I think you're right. It might be Gloon, who sometimes appears like some kind of big, like sea cucumber monster thing, but then it has like the beautiful Grecian style head up there. And yeah, it's a really good story. It's a really, really good story, in my opinion. One of his best. And then I think one of his other best ones is The Mound, which he did in partnership with some lady. I forget her name, because they never advertise her name very much. It's always The Mound by H.P. Lovecraft, but it was the both of them. And that one is where the Spanish guy goes into the mound and goes deep under, and he encounters like this tribe of Indians, except you know, they all worship Cthulhu and they like have psychic powers and you know, can do all kinds of crazy stuff, and they're super evil, you know, like they have no concept of like a morality or conscience or anything. And so he tries to escape and they F him up really good. But that's not the whole story. And sorry, spoilers, but guys, if you haven't read the stories, you need to read the stories. They're pretty good. Pretty good. Now, my pizza just showed up. However, I don't know what board game the fam wants to play. And that means I don't know if I'm even interested in playing a board game tonight. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure, man. The Destroyer, and you know I'm just copying Double D's opinion here, Diversity and Dragons, for those who don't know who I'm talking about. But when he says the Destroyer's much more the D&D movie, yeah, I think he's right. Because in Destroyer, they get the quest, they got the mission they got to go on, they get the team together, and it's a bunch of, you know, you've got the barbarian and the fighter and the thief and the other fighter, whatever Grace Jones is, fighter or monk, you know, and the little princess that, you know, you got to watch out for because she's getting the hots for Conan, but she's got to be a virgin. And, you know, and then you get Mako. And like the wizard duel, super cool in that one too, where the wizards, you know, and the gemstones, you know, it's just like, yeah, that's kind of cool. And it was a more friendly, family-friendly movie of Conan. I don't know if that's like necessarily a great thing, but you know, if they made their money, then I'm happy for them. Yeah, 100%. You're saying, yeah. I didn't think it was, but I think Double D won me over on that one. You know, and it's not like him and I are lockstep, hip to hip on everything. We're not, but I think he won me over on that one. That was Andre the Giant. Oh yeah, that's why there's the picture of Wilt Chamberlain, Andre the Giant, and freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger standing together, I guess. I didn't know that was Andre the Giant in the suit. Honestly, that's badass. You know, that's super badass. Yep, my pizza's here. Wait and see what the wife is doing. Glue a sword to this lady because she's got a great axe, but the character in game also carries a sword. And luckily, I have a ton of swords still in the sheaths from. No, but I mean, let's be fair. I mean, who do you think they ever could have got that was ever going to be of that same caliber of, not only bad guy, but just in general actor? I mean, the only way they were going to outdo Thulsa Doom would have been to somehow bring Thulsa Doom back and say, oh, well, it turns out he's, an ancient Acheronian wizard and you can't actually kill him because, because he's, an Acheronian wizard. Let me see this for a second. I want to show you guys a couple miniatures, but for some reason, I shake really bad. So if, also, yes, I know my desk is a wreck. These guys right here, I'm getting ready to do detail work on them. They're pig-faced storks riding pigs. From Otherworld Miniatures. I only got 8 of them, though, somehow, because I bought them when they're half off. And I definitely need to pick up 2 more. Because, I mean, you at least... Now, speaking of Arnold, come on now. Let's focus in. Gonna focus in or what? What if I just did that? Looks like it wants to. There we go. Speaking of Arnold, there he is. Except I painted his hair, black. But that is Arnold Schwarzenegger as Conan. Yeah, giant boars are scary. I used to hunt them. Like with dogs, because we'd capture them alive and then sell them to the ranch. Even though we're on the ranch's property, they tear up orange groves. So you go out and you capture them and throw them in the back of your freaking truck, and then you sell them back. See, this is the lady I just glued the sword on. See, I'm going to just move my hand. Seems to. Come on now. What is that? Is that me shaking causing it not to focus? Sometimes if you do this. The dogs are trying to trip one of my friends. There she is. There she is. Now I need to paint the sword, obviously, but that's basically. I should probably do the lips and the eyes too, since this is my wife's character. Yeah, I think that the person who sculpted this, like, she's got like gashes and cuts all over and stuff. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be like a Valeria thing. And the guy who sold the miniature to me, you could get it with really big boobs, average boobs, with boob armor, or topless. And I went with the armored but big boobs. So, yeah, I mean, it has. I mean, geez. Let's get it focused. Come on. Just for Coco. Come on. We can do this. It's because my hand's in front of it. So it's like.
Afterwards, to stand like where Bear is and just look at me as if to be like,
I didn't do nothing.
what's the matter?
Just looking at her like, dog.
God, this camera just doesn't like to focus in very much. Maybe if I put something like super like Yeah, that's pro acryl bold pyro red. Come on, stop shaking. There, it's focused in. So now you can, just for you, Cal. Yeah. Yep, that is Pro Acryl's Pyro Red. It is my favorite red. So when I paint my Space Marines up, I always, after I put the shade on them, I always give them like a dry brush of the Pyro Red. And then, because I'm playing. Yep. Well, she had to be blonde too because my wife's a blonde. Except she's big, so like, a big Viking is the kind of character my wife is playing. But my wife is so small that like she had to bring a step stool in so she can get up in our bed, which is kind of hilarious in a way. Now, this was an extra miniature I had. You guys are going to recognize him immediately. And you can see I've done the white, the black, and then white zenithal thing. So I have him painted up as he should be, Griffith. But since I had 2 or 3 of these models laying around, I decided to do a weapon swap and then like change his arm positioning, give him a shield. And I'll probably paint him up as a Hyperborean because of how tall the miniature is. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. Well, anyway, it's been like 2.5 hours, and a lot of people need to go eat dinner, and then Bear is going to be doing his thing. Bruce might still be running his game if anybody wants to check that out. That can be a lot of fun. One more thing. I just put the sealant on this, even though I need to do the belt. But this is for my Mansions of Madness game. This is a thrall to some demon god. Because the Mansions of Madness game comes with a lot of miniatures, and I paint them. Plus, I've downloaded, printed, bought, whatever. Like this guy will be very cool for my Hyperborea game when I do his base, because it's a Spider of Ling. And the spiders of Ling, of course, live on the plateau of Ling. So if the adventurers at some point ever head to the plateau of Ling, I've got. And then this guy is a priest of Set. I just need to do his robes. Set in this game is just another name for Yig, the grandfather of serpents. So he says Set or Apep, but it's Yig. So, yeah. I need to do the wash too, so that gold will. Frank Frazetta. I love Frank Frazetta, man. That guy is awesome. Definitely one of the best fantasy artists of all time. And
Is officially 4 months behind in child support now.
this is another barbarian woman I'm working on. See, she focused right in. So got the big boobas, but she's wearing armor. I just haven't painted it yet. And I gave her like, auburn hair. And she's got her sword and everything. And,
We kind of knew that she got charged child support
I just, because I have a lot of ladies at my table, I tend to have quite a few female characters. I mean, not as many as the male characters I have. I definitely have more male characters. I mean, but I do have. So here we've got Mike Myers. I guess I would say that instead of a Captain Kirk mask, that's like the skin of someone he's like skinned their face off and he's wearing it. And like if I ever get to play a D&D game like that allows, I'm going to play a lawful evil fighter or paladin. And this is going to be the character. So I'll have to, raise the decks a little bit to make sure I can dual wield. And because he's wearing chainmail underneath that big gambeson. And then, of course, I'm just showing some stuff off real quick. Everyone's favorite, the Hell Priest. We have such sights to show you. Yeah, from Etsy. I think he cost $6. I mean, I had to wait like a long time to get him because that's how Etsy is. But after my Saturn IV screen went out, I still haven't changed the freaking screen on the Saturn IV. And then my nephew asked if he could have it. And I said, yes, if he was willing to change out the screen. So I'll give it away. And at some point, either I will buy a new 3D printer. Yep, the Hell Priest pinhead. Or I'll just be done with 3D printing from now on. Either way, doesn't matter. Yeah, you guys know what that is. Everybody knows what these are. Chthonians. And the last thing I'm going to show you, but I saved the biggest for last. Look at this guy. This guy's gigantic. He's the size like of a dragon. And some of you will know who that is. And I could definitely see this guy showing up in my Hyperborea game as the god of some, really isolated village of Vikings, Norsemen. And the thing is the main king of the Vikings. Yeah, I've got cryptids, I've got werewolves and man-bats and hairless giant moles and giant ticks. But this is Motor. They had a movie about him, right? It's a great movie. And in the Hyperborea 3rd edition campaign setting, any of the Vikings that worship any gods other than Ymir and Uller are excommunicado, right? So they only worship the frost giant god of ice and the god of skiing. All the other Viking gods they reject, right, from this kingdom. So there could be some village really isolated somewhere, and they worship, Loki and, of course, his son Motor. And that would be really cool. Really cool. But, of course, that'll be a while because right now the players are like level 1 and 2.